What's going on, guys? My name is Mini Guy Doug. This is Daddy Joel. This is the Punishers Paintball YouTube channel, and you are watching December 2024 paintball news. We have managed to find plenty of updates, even though it is getting into winter. It is off season for most of us. There's still plenty to talk about in paintball.
Lots of spicy stuff going on.
Lots of spicy shit going on, man. We got a lot to talk about. So, without any further ado, we'll try to keep it quick. This is the intro. Afterwards, make sure you like, subscribe, follow the channel, follow us on social medias. We love to see you guys come back, and we will catch you again in just a second. All right, Joel, so you did a lot of legwork just now while I was dumping some videos to find out what all that we have to talk about for the month of December and beyond.
Well, it's funny because I was like, we don't really have that much for December.
And then Kenty put you to shame. So
Kenty definitely came up with a lot of good ideas. So yeah, guys, it's been absolute turmoil on the NXL side of things. We've got a little bit of updates when it comes to scenario side of things. So yeah, let's get right into it. First and foremost, let's kind of talk about the fact that we're carrying MacDev products once again, so I have yet to actually update that stuff back on the website. I need to get that done, but the MacDev GTX is available for pre-order, and we have gotten a few pre-orders already for those. Fingers crossed, those should be coming soon, so I'm really excited to do some testing on that marker.
Yeah, dude.
We shot a World Cup.
It was wonderful.
And it actually shot really good. I am thoroughly impressed. Always have been with MacDev guns. They've been good markers. It's just, a tech support issue, which we're not going to get into that because we've done plenty of talking. Correct. So, but that should be coming soon, and we're very excited to get the GTX in stock here very shortly. Hopefully by the time that you guys see this video, it should be not much longer, if not already.
Something else I would also like to add about MacDev is I'm just kind of seeing in our notes here, guys. Cyborg. A new Cyborg is coming. So I never got to shoot the original one. I've never shot a MacDev Cyborg, so...
so the Cyborg 5 or 6 or whatever the latest one was, that one shot really good. Okay. I was a big fan of it. I actually had one for a short period of time, and I really enjoyed it. And let's be honest, we don't have any poppet style markers
to compete with the LV2.
Correct. So I'm very excited that I'll be curious to see what MacDev does with it, and if they can own up to the the customer service side of things. The MacDev is going to be, the Cyborg's going to be, I think, a contender, because the Cyborg, the previous generation Cyborg, was a really good gun.
Was it a reliable gun?
It was sensitive to output pressure,
as a lot of their older guns were.
Correct. So I'm sure that that's going to be something that they.
I'm sure that's no longer
tackle.
Yeah.
Correct, because I know with the GTX that was one thing that they tackled
even with
the
the Prime and the XTS and all that, like that, those weren't sensitive anymore to output pressure, were they?
The Prime, the original Prime was. The Prime XTS was not.
Yeah.
They beefed up the solenoid to be able to handle higher output pressures, but most guys are using Ninja Pro V3s, or they're using Powerhouse regs.
Yep. I use a Pro V3 and I take all my shims out. So
yeah. So there you go. So, all right, guys. So yeah, stay tuned, because so it's going to be a limited run of Cyborgs, I believe, and it won't happen until 2025. But MacDev officially made it. We knew at Cup, but MacDev officially made an announcement that they are going to be doing a limited run of the Cyborgs.
Nice.
So, all right. Another unfortunate piece of news, guys, is that the NXL Summit is not going to be happening for the year of 2025. That just happened in the Retailers Hub, and I'm sure that that's going to be public news here. But unfortunately, for the retail side of things, there is going to be no official event. Not exactly sure the reason. Haven't really dug into it, but it is
so no extravaganza, no summit, nothing.
Correct. It's unfortunate. I always felt like there could have been better use of time, and I know that we did like a summit final thought video, and I definitely think that for the betterment of the industry, it would be better for them to have had more round table conversations with the people that are actually running the industry and people that are running the fields and everything else like that.
At the boots on the ground.
There just wasn't enough roundtable conversation going on, and the one that I engaged in turned into a just like complaining fit. So instead of like progress forward, it was everything that was wrong with the industry. So
awesome.
But we'll see. We'll see what I think that this is. In my opinion, I think it's good, because it's going to make the people that are in charge of running this event figure out, all right, how can we make this a more, if we're going to make it a semi or an annual event or a biannual event, how are we going to make this useful so that players within the industry are willing to come to the event and make it happen?
Question:
You know?
If it does get optimized to what you think would be a good degree, do you think it's useful to have in the first place, or do you think it's just kind of a useless
If
thing?
it gets optimized,
Yeah.
yes, 100%.
What are 2 uses you could get out of a trade show as a retail owner?
As a retail owner, I think that like they're not doing enough when it comes to bringing in outside people, like inspirational, inspirational speakers, right? Like motivational speakers, right? Like every other industry, you know, real estate or finance or whatever, they go to these self-improvement events, right? Like a Grant Cardone or a Tony Robbins or something like that. We don't have any of that. We never did, and I've been saying that I think that that's something that they should do. SEO, marketing, Kyle Berry from, now Dynasty. But the ML Kings, like, he put on a marketing, and that was one of the few classes I was like, I actually gained something from this.
I didn't know that.
It was so far over my head that I was like, wow, you know, like, and I ended up speaking with Kyle, and Kyle and I are working together on something, so.
I am on your payroll with a marketing degree, and I didn't know that happened.
That was while you were gone. That was while you were gone.
He doesn't like me. Anyway.
Whatever. So yeah, we'll see what happens in 2026, guys. Or if maybe there's a second half, you know, maybe people are like outraged by it and something happens.
Yeah.
Towards the second half of 2025. All right, next up, we've got ESPN.
So
this is more just like, this isn't news, this is kind of like
this is a thought piece.
thought piece.
No one that was outside of paintball said anything to me about like, hey Doug, don't you play paintball? I actually saw it on TV the other day, about a single soul. A lot of people in group chats that I'm in weren't really impressed with the way they did that broadcast from AC. Honestly, I was out doing something else. I didn't really have the highest of expectations for it. Apparently I was right. Did you watch it?
I didn't. I'll be honest, it was aired at a bad time, and I know that they replayed it, but I was busy, and I meant to watch it, and I just got caught up with life or whatever the case may be. So,
Yep.
I think, here's my thing, ESPN's cool, streaming services is where everything is going towards, and it would be good to have some sort of, obviously we've got Go Sports, but if we could get on some sort of popular streaming service,
Hulu.
I think, like, yeah, exactly, like Hulu or something like that, I think that would be a progress, because like with ESPN it's like, all right, you know, it's like old school, you know, it's like I gotta make that time. Whereas everything now it's like, all right, I turn on Yellowstone and I watch that episode when I want to, you know, like
the trade-off that I see though is with streaming, yes, it's there, it's available to more people, whatever, in their own time, but if they don't know to be looking for it, like if we're trying to get to an audience that doesn't know us, no one's going to find it. So that is the benefit of going with like network, like cable, is you're forcing the exposure on people that haven't seen it before. But
that's true.
If they're going to put it at 1 a.m., there's no, then we're better off doing streaming. So
that's true.
I think
it was popular enough that they replayed it on Sunday or whatever. They aired it on like a Saturday night, and then they re-aired it on Sunday. But that was probably because everybody in the paintball industry is like, we got to watch this to show ESPN. How many of that? I would have loved to have seen the data to go, all right, how much of this is actually new people as compared to, hey, you and I are watching, and we're paintball players and we're trying to support it. You know what I'm saying?
Which all views help, but yeah, I think the new versus the returning is the crucial number there. But I'm not sure. I'm not opposed to another NXL on ESPN run. I just want it to, if they can somehow work out a slightly more primetime slot, that'd be great, but those are other discussions.
I think one last thing about exposure when it comes to like ESPN, I think that Tom is doing a good job trying to get exposure for the paintball.
Agreed.
One thing that I think that like we're not doing is we're not going to, YouTube influencers are huge. And like our boy over at God Films, Nick, like he on his last video had a Mike Melichek or whatever his name is. He's a famous YouTuber, and he had him on make like a special video for the Wrecking Crew guys, and it's like that's like something that no one's exploring within the industry, and I'm sure it might be costly and everything, but like why not have like freaking Whistling Diesel and like a couple other guys get to Jake Paul, right? And like Tom go to those guys and be like, hey, listen, like let's do something cool, like
we should totally do another really rigged match like the Paul brothers did, where you have like a pro play against them being amateurs, and then the pro loses.
Mike Tyson for life, baby. Iron Mike.
I'm with Mike. I literally saw the clip of him absolutely pulling the punch. I'm like,
he would have wrecked.
Was it Jake or Logan that boxed him? It was Jake. Right?
Jake.
Jake's a pussy because every time Mike would start to actually get something going, he would just lock him up and hug him. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We love Iron Mike.
I totally had a thought off of what you were saying. I'm gonna interject when I think of it later, but we will move on. Go right ahead.
Some other things, guys. We are caught up on MXR back orders, so anything that's on the website now is actually available. So that's good. It's long time coming. Mm-hmm. It's been 2.5 months, but we're finally there. I finally got us guns.
Sorry, guys. We had to work with them, but we got there.
Yeah. Our apologies because we definitely meant to get caught up earlier than this, but our hands were tied as far as how many guns we were able to get. So we are officially caught up. On the scenario side of things, Sherwood Forest in May announced that they are going to have a bring your own paint event. So everybody on the East Coast, Sherwood Forest is a field in, I believe, Indiana.
It's Indiana.
Yeah. And I've not been there, but I've heard great things. Our boy D over at Nomads has been talking about Sherwood and has nothing but good things to say about Sherwood. And a bring your own paint event. Doug, that might be a vlog weekend for us.
Love that.
It'd be fun. It'd be really fun.
I'll go do that.
For sure.
I'll go do that. That was fun last time, but what, Living Legends when I went?
Yes.
That was Legends.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll go do another one.
We'll see. But if you guys are, on the scenario side of things, make sure you go to that event. If you're a speedball player and you got nothing going on that weekend, make sure you guys go because I'm sure that'll be a blast. Use some of your old paint and head on out there. All right, NXL news, guys. Let's get into it. Let's try and make this quick, though, Doug, for the people watching. Right. First and foremost, there's a Cincy event this year.
NXL.
We'll see you guys there, obviously, because we're 2.5 hours down the road. Yep. Make sure if you're in town beforehand, make sure you guys come see us. It's going to be exciting. I'm glad that they are having an Ohio event. Cleveland event seemed to be a popular event, but when I talked to Tom Cole about it a few years ago, he said that it was one of the least attended events. So I'm curious, logistically, I'm surprised to see that they are doing that. But I think that Cincy makes more sense because you're appealing to a larger market. You're still appealing to Cleveland and Pittsburgh and Columbus and Kentucky and Tennessee and all that stuff,
which is kind of a paintball hub.
Correct.
Between all those.
I think Cincy's just a little bit easier to get to as compared to Cleveland. Mm-hmm. So and it's being held exact same place, Joyce Park, which is exactly where MSXL is held.
Yep.
So
people have been saying like how they're going to fit them. There's a whole for the Ohio guys. There's a whole other part of Joyce Park that the MSXL I don't think has the budget to get to. So it'll be all right.
Yep.
It'll be just fine.
Blastcamp sold their pro spot to the Royal City Sea Dogs, so we officially have a Canadian team in the NXL now, which is awesome. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, duh. In fact, yeah, duh. Much more original one though. I mean, how many of the guys on Impact are actually Canadian? I mean, the Akamic brothers.
Yeah, the brothers.
There's not many anymore.
Is JC? No, he's American.
I think he's American. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cornell is. But yeah, guys, so that's really cool to see. Our boy Nolan, our Exalt sales rep, is actually on that team. So
sick!
Congratulations to those guys. They put in a really impressive year, and I'm glad to see that they.
Dude, they were. I said it in the other video. They were fun to watch at finals.
They were. But really let's talk about the fact that Blastcamp sold their spot after one year.
That's weird because they had a decent year.
It is weird. Yeah, they did have a decent year.
Because so Fit won. Obviously, not all of their first year in pro. For some of them, I think it was, but they had kind of a spotted roster anyway. But Blastcamp was your team of true. They worked together, they played together through the ranks, fought through semi-pro. They still had to buy their pro spot, but they showed up and showed out.
But they were close, right?
Yeah.
Mean, it was
neck and neck.
How many events was it that they were playing Fit?
Oh, it was always them in the finals.
Yeah.
Just about. So.
Right. I think they deserved it. I think that this whole concept that only the top team in semi-pro deserves it, I think is crazy. I mean, there's multiple teams that have proven that they can swing in the upper leagues that wasn't the team that won the spot.
Yep.
Columbus level.
Yep.
Blastcamp, right? So I think that Sea Dogs will do just fine.
I think that harkens back to Matty Marshall's comment of any given Sunday. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know who it's going to be.
That's true. We'll get fit. All right, guys. Next up, Coach Kevin.
Skinny Kev.
Dude.
So he's going back to Damage. He was there years ago.
Not a lot of people are talking about this. Everyone's talking about the fact that, Blastcamp sold their spot. Mm-hmm. This is huge news because, in my opinion, Kevin's probably one of the better coaches in the professional division.
For sure.
And the fact that they're going to Damage, and Damage just scooped up Chris Shear.
Right.
Bro. everyone's like powerhouse teams. Everyone's talking about Impact, bro. I think Damage.
So I'm
is
scared.
The team that we need to be talking about.
I'm scared for Damage because they lost Rainey, but like I made a comment in the other video that like where Rainey goes, those teams have success.
Yeah,
even when he left X Factor, they still stayed successful for a little bit after he left. So if this year they can pick up on that same momentum between also now bringing in Skinny Kev and Chris Shear, I'm with you. Damage could be the team to watch next year. They really could.
L. Keynes rebranded to NYX.
Dude, I jumped on the live for a little bit where Harris was just like.
That's why I'm laughing, bro, because Harris is
talked about that in the last video.
Listen, Harris is one of my favorite dudes, and like I know that some people don't like him, but he is such a goon. He is such a goon, and I just love the fact that he did that video because it is some funny material.
All he needed to do was be quiet, but I think silence would have been just as funny, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways.
It's fucking awesome.
Over here.
Okay, and Tauntauns and Austin Notorious are merging. I did not see that.
Yeah, so that was on their Facebook page. So that also, guys.
I don't know if I like
this season has been insane.
That's weird.
Insane.
So Axel's going to be playing for another American team, but he'll probably stick with it because it's still got his Tauntauns
I mean,
in it.
but that's my thing. Is like, who knows? Who knows out of the Notorious roster, who are they going to keep? I know that there's been a few guys that have already left. So, you know, obviously trying to make room for the major Tauntaun guys. How many of the Tauntaun guys are actually going to fly over for every event?
Right.
What is the formalities there with NXL as far as like who can play, who can't? So, needless to say, guys, I think it's kind of interesting because now you've got 2 Canadian teams. You've got
a French Texan team.
Yeah. So, I mean, there you have it. I mean,
that's just wild.
And then, like, you know, there's been some Hispanic teams. So we'll see at some point, like, I would like to see a Hispanic team, you know, in the professional division, obviously Land Saints, right?
Yeah,
but I think that like
show up and then like consistently do well.
Right.
Like make a presence.
Yeah, because you know, like when we go down the cup, there's a lot of divisional Hispanic teams, so it'd be really cool to see them have a pro team.
What's the one I see every year? Sicarios? They're always I think I always see Sicarios around.
Sicarios, yeah. And you know, Land Saints obviously really good. I'm trying to think of the semi pro division, who you got. I mean,
I don't know in semi-pro.
Yeah,
I personally
semi-pro. But needless to say, guys, it's cool to have French and Canadian. And I'm sure, like, yeah, and then you've got the Russians, obviously. So it's really cool to see all the different.
See paintball kind of become international again.
Yeah, for sure.
Would love to see that grow as things continue forward. But I mean, I'm not seeing too much else on our list, and whatever thought I was going to share earlier has not been able to come back to mind. I am way too distracted, but it's fine.
A few things product-wise. We've got the new tank reg tools from HK Army. We did a video on those. Those are super cool. Good price point, $40, but a bunch of different materials or different uses for that.
We also didn't have the room to set up the HK joint, but that's a super sick gun stand that's out there. I keep getting
the joint folding stand, guys.
The joint folding stand. It's legal in Ohio, but it's meant for your gun to be fully set up with a loader, tank, and everything. Looks super nice. They're super cheap, $25. Get one for yourself. But the point Joel really wanted to get to was these nice guns in front of us here. So this one I don't think so, right? This is one of our custom from our Ultimate program. This Force is another custom from our Ultimate program. Is this one of ours as well?
What's that? This is just a black
MXR.
MXR.
Nice MXR.
Yeah, that's just a black MXR. Black has definitively been the most popular, and we actually have them in stock now, which is great.
There you go.
And then last but not least, we do have these t-shirts for the month of December. If you purchase anything over $250, all you got to do is add one of these bad boys to the cart. Should be automatically discounted. If it's not, call us, but it should be automatically discounted to you guys. And whoops, I just knocked that over. And so that's one of our promos for the month of December, as well as free 2-day shipping over $500, free overnight shipping over $1,000, and we've got all kinds of cool stuff, guys. So,
sick. Way to run it down, boss. Way to do it. So guys, there's your month of December. Please, whatever holiday you celebrate, do it happily, and don't drive drunk. That's a bad idea. Yeah, man, I got nothing else. Glad to be back. Glad to see you guys. Please subscribe to the channel. Comment if we missed anything. This is definitely an information source. I love when people put different stuff in the comments here. We will catch you guys in the next video.
Have a great Christmas, guys.